Now, here's a question I get at least once every week. Where should I start with my cleaning advertising? Here's a message I got just yesterday that asks, I've researched different packages that I can purchase, not sure where to start. I've been in business for 18 months and I need more customers. Where should I begin? And this is something that may be either exactly in your situation or something very darn similar. Maybe you've been in business for 10 years and you're sort of in a way reinventing yourself and starting all over. You have the same question. Where do I start? So let's spend a few minutes talking about the best types of advertising that can be done for your cleaning business. So here's the first place that you should start. If you have any clients whatsoever, you need to be mailing them postcards and newsletters to educate them and to keep in touch with them on a regular basis. My recommendation is to send them something at least once every other month. Here's a good example. This is what we call a newsletter postcard. This is an oversized postcard that's sort of a newsletter and a postcard all at the same time, that educates clients, that keeps in touch with them, that on the other side we usually give them special offers and calls to action and things that prompt them to give us a call. Again, it's about keeping in touch with your regular clients so that they don't forget about you. If you've got at least a couple of dozen clients that you've done business with in the past, I highly recommend that you do this and have this as one of the top things on your priority list. Now, one of the second things you might have on your priority list is internet marketing. The internet is huge right now, and if you're not marketing heavily on the internet, you're leaving money on the table and you're quite potentially wasting quite a bit of money on advertising. You've probably heard me talk about Google Places. Google Places is huge. You can actually get listed on Google Places for free. And basically, it's a matter of just submitting to your site to Google, signing up for Google Places, verifying your address, and filling out a profile. And as long as you're physically located in that particular area, you can usually get set up and listed on there for free. Clients that I have are getting tons of business strictly from this. Now, the other thing that you want to graduate to after you get listed on Google Places is actually showing up in the Google Organic. Now, this is the actual Google search. When you show up in the Google Organic, it's usually something that you get to by the course of SEO, which is also called search engine optimization. It's optimizing your site to where it looks attractive for the search engines, but that not only lets you show up on Google, but also Yahoo, Bing, and the other search engines. Now, the thing and drawback, so that we're up front with this, with organic search, is you've got to face time. You're going to have a little bit of time that it usually takes for you to show up in the search engine. So keep that in mind when you're doing any of your planning for your advertising. Sometimes clients come to me saying, geez, what should I do on my last dollar, and I got to do something this week. Well, search engine optimization isn't the thing for you, because that can take a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and on occasion even longer than that to really start to see ranking. It depends on the size of your city and what your city competition actually is on the internet. But all else being equal, still, getting optimized on the internet is very, very profitable once it gets there. It's just going to take a little bit of time. The other things that can be quicker are things like pay-per-click and Facebook pay-per-click, Google AdWords pay-per-click, Yahoo pay-per-click. These type of things can get you to show up on the search engines right away, but you have to know how to optimize the pay-per-click campaign. But that is another viable option for internet marketing that a lot of cleaning companies are getting very, very good returns on their advertising dollar. So the next thing that you might want to think about concentrating on is direct mail to new prospects, okay? Obviously, first start with direct mail to your current existing prospects. After that, consider internet marketing, and then potentially direct mail. Now, keep in mind too, when I mention these things, this isn't a hardcore example for every single company. This is just a general guideline of maybe even a priority list kind of in a way. Direct mail is something you're going to want to do to targeted neighborhoods, something you're going to want to do to neighborhoods that you really, really want to try to get into that are higher end neighborhoods, and usually I only recommend that you only target the higher end neighborhoods for direct mail. Here's an example of a neighborhood invitation style invitation that we actually mail to high-end neighborhoods to be able to give them special offers for our cleaning business. It's worked really well for us and many of my coaching members. The other thing that you might want to do in connection with the direct mail campaign is flyers and doorknob hangers. Now, this can be done wrong even quicker than it can be done right. So keep in mind, you could be saying, oh, I've tried flyers and doorknob hangers and it's been terrible. You could be saying you've even tried direct mail and it's been terrible. Well, flyers and doorknob hangers can be even worse. You have to do it right there. There's some specific things and some specific ways that you need to go about doing it. It's a lot more than just taking a bulk 5,000 doorknob hangers and putting them all over the doorknobs. You have to have strategic things in place in your doorknob hanger for it to work. This is an example of one flyer, part of the first page of one of the flyers that we've actually used that's been very, very profitable in our business and for many of our cleaning clients. But it's about giving them an offer. It's about actually doing it in a professional manner, and again, still targeting the right key targeted neighborhoods. Another thing that you may want to try is newspaper. Now, the thing about newspaper is if you're in a small or medium-sized city, newspaper can work great. Okay, the thing is you still might have to test a few different newspapers to find out the right newspaper that's going to work best for you. But even today, even though the internet's taken place and there's quite a bit smaller amount of readership in newspaper can still be killer for return. Here's one great example of a newspaper ad that I've run in my business and many of my clients have run in their businesses, and that's done really, really well, and it's gotten up to a 22-to-1 return on investment for this particular newspaper ad. So yes, newspaper can still work. Not as much so in the larger cities, but especially in the smaller to medium-sized cities. But again, it's about testing. And it's also about having the right ad. With any of this type of stuff, by the way, it's about having the right ad. You could have a newspaper ad that's in the same exact newspaper and have it get no response for you, and run a good ad in the same exact newspaper and get tremendous response. So it's not just about the fact that you need to run an ad in the newspaper. It's about the fact that you need to have an ad that responds well. Radio and television. That's kind of the old question. Should I do radio? Should I do television? Because it's going to reach everybody. Well, here's the thing. Is there a time and a place to use radio and television? Yes, there absolutely is. And it's mostly for a backup for your primary advertising, such as if you're running a huge Yellow Pages campaign, a huge newspaper campaign, or another primary campaign and you want to use radio or television as a backup, or when you plan to completely saturate the market. Don't get into radio or television if you only plan on spending $500 or $600 a month. You need to be spending well over $1,000 a month in most cases to be able to even make a dent in the field of radio and television. So that being said, it's usually for larger companies, and it's again something that usually doesn't start to work after the first week or two. It's something that can work more over the course of months. Okay, but that most ad reps are going to tell you that usually to get you to string you along. Still, it has to be strategic. Radio and television are one of the hardest things to make work for a cleaning company. It is possible. We've made it work in our own business. However, you have to consider that you got to be spending a tremendous amount of money. It's going to take time, and also it's ideally a backup for a primary advertising that you're going to be doing, such as a huge campaign with Yellow Pages, newspaper, or one of the other media. So then the last thing that we're going to mention, Yellow Pages. Is Yellow Pages dead? Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying that it's dead. It can still work. However, you got to be careful. You can have Yellow Pages ads that still work really well because a lot of people are getting out of the Yellow Pages, and the market could still be there for the people that aren't internet savvy. By the way, I would probably first want to jump on the internet unless you're in an older community. Then you might want to still have a good presence in both, because by the way, older people are still searching on the internet. People over the age of 65 are still searching on the internet. However, the Yellow Pages can still be a viable media if you use it correctly. And again, it's got to be used correctly. It can't just be any old standard ad. Here's an example of a small in-column Yellow Pages ad that we've done, and usually test Yellow Pages ads first with a smaller Yellow Page ad the first year that you try it, see if it's even going to get you any response. But this is a standard an ad that we've done that's actually gotten us a lot of good pet odor clients that have called us from our Yellow Pages ad. And then there's always the question of, Commercial versus residential. Which one do I do? Well, let me say that residential is great because you can work during the day, because they're very faithful, reliable clients. However, commercial is great because it's very regular work. You can make sometimes, if you do it right, you can make even more money per hour concentrating on commercial. Both can be great, and there are tactics that you can do to advertise to and get into both. Coming up in our coaching club, we're going to be concentrating quite a bit on commercial marketing. Historically, we've concentrated mostly and entirely on residential advertising. Coming up, though, we are going to be concentrating quite a bit on commercial marketing, so be a part of that. In fact, if you jump into the Ad of the Month coaching club program and you mention that you saw this video, we will give you the commercial marketing package that we've got coming out for absolutely no charge by joining the Ad of the Month club. But you do have to mention this video. Now, commercial can be huge. It's regular work. It's wonderful work because you can make a lot more steady income with commercial. I don't recommend that you always just abandon everything and go straight toward commercial in all occasions, because residential can be pretty sweet too. But the right commercial account can be great. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to hear from you soon.